Here at Bendigo, catching up now with Brad Williams, all the way from New Zealand. Firstly, Brad, welcome to Bendigo, mate.
Thanks very much. Yeah, no, it's good to be here.
Back to Campbell's comments, mate, and I took the opportunity to catch up. I wanted to catch up with yourself or Dad after Majestic Man landed, and here in Victoria, what was the name of that race? I should have looked that one up before I started, but super impressive debut back here in Australia anyway.
Yeah, it's a Dullard Cup, that one. Second time he's won it too, so no, he's had a good run on the race. I think he's only running it twice, so yeah, it was super to get that fresh up win with him, and off of a big trip over here and that, you know, it can take its toll on some of them, but he's an old seasoned horse and he's done it before, so it was great to bounce over here and get a win straight away.
It's a time-honoured race. Unfortunately, the stakes money doesn't befit the sort of race that it is, but it's still one of those races on everyone's radar. How many times has Dad been able to win that race, you know?
I think Dad's won it more than twice with horses he's trained. I don't think he's ever driven the winner of it, but yeah, I do think he might have won it before with one of the good trotters he had back in the day, won over Kenny or Lee Agitato or something. He brought them over. I know they both had really good campaigns over here and won nice open class races. So, but yeah, well, a bit of a shame it was Group 2 this year because, as you said, it's a prestigious race and it's a race we talk about back home and always tune in and watch it. So a little bit of a shame, but hopefully they can elevate it back up to Group 1 status in a couple of years' time would be nice.
Next year. Don't worry about giving him a couple of years, make it next year. Great Southern Star. We've got a few things we've got to cover with this horse, but I said in the Great Southern Star, and I said you just before we started, you would have been wrapped. There was a tinge of, because you got a 9 next to your name if you like, but the way he went in the heat. But just that race and the intrigue of that race and to see the horses, I think the last horse across the line got beat 10.8 metres. I mean, it's a tough race to be a part of. It's a tough race to win, isn't it?
It is, for sure. Well, every horse is going out of their comfort zone, and it sort of looked like after the heats that there was certainly half a dozen winning chances in the final, and you know, the horses that, you know, obviously when Greg's horse draw won, he was certainly the one to beat, and as it panned out, he had a nice run on the rail, and he was too good for them in the finish. But yeah, we weren't overly disappointed with that guy. He actually blew up over the back a little bit after his first race, and perhaps wasn't at 100% on the night, but you know, credit to the winner. He got the run and raced well and raced super in the heat as well, and got the run in the final, and he was too good and got the money.
Off subject a little bit, but as a trotting lover, as all you guys are, do you look at a horse like Just Believe and just sort of marvel at him? Because, I mean, he's not this big horse or he's not this imposing horse and he doesn't have this aura about him. He just keeps getting the job done, doesn't he?
He does. He just, yeah, it doesn't matter what you look like, really, does it? Like, if they can run as well as him. There's been some champion young trotters in the past that have been small and paces as well, like Pride Petites and I'm the Mighty Quins and, you know, Chicago Bulls, little horses that are great horses. So sort of matters about the ticker on the inside, doesn't it, how much they want it. And he's just believes a horse that just puts his head down, does the job and keeps performing and wants to be a racehorse, so he's hard to beat in any race he's in.
You're going to have to front up to him in a few more races coming up. Not this week. You got the Night Pistol this week, drawn a little bit tricky though.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, look, it's a tricky race this week. There's a bit of gate speed inside him. He's got a bit himself, obviously, but whether we roll the dice and have a press on and try and find the markers or look to tuck him in, it'll probably just depend how much speed there is over that first 100 metres. But yeah, we'll just play it by ear. The draw makes it tricky, but he's earned his way to get the draw. So yeah, we don't really have a set plan in stone at this stage, but we'll just play it by ear and see how we go. He wouldn't be without a winning chance.
You're not adverse to going forward. You're an aggressive driver of the trotters. Where does that come from? Like, is that just a family trait, or is it just something that you've adapted and it works for you?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think, you know, especially when you're racing on tight tracks, you know, the markers are quite important, aren't they? And when you're in front, generally, provided you don't have to do a crazy amount to get there, you're always pretty hard to beat if you've got confidence in your horse. And you know, if we're driving horses that are a bit rougher, I'd probably speak on behalf of our whole family. If they're a bit rougher in the market and aren't quite in form, we look to take shortcuts and look for luck. But if we're driving horses where we think they're good enough to do work and win, then we prefer to drive them positively if we can. Yeah, I think pretty much a family trait. My middle brother Matty's renowned for being probably the most aggressive driver on our side of the Tasman, but yeah, no, we all drive pretty aggressively when we think we're on a horse that can win.
Matty's always in front on the grass. I've noticed that. Like, if you tune in on a grass race, you just say Matty Williamson's in front, you're nearly going to be right. You don't have to even know the form.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Like I said, yeah, he's known for leading up and giving them every chance as best he can, and won hundreds of races doing it. So, I guess when you're in front, you're the horse to beat at the top of the straight anyway, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely. Majestic Man, you've got the Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time, and then you're going to head to New South Wales. So you've still got a fair bit of racing still to cover with him here in Australia. That's
right, yeah, that's the lovely part about this carnival and having so many nice races and options in a short space of time, where a Kiwi horse can come over and earn a good dollar and whilst paying airfares and that sort of thing, and compete with some of the nicer horses over here. So it's good to have that bit of a rivalry still, and for a Kiwi horse to come over here and have 6 or half a dozen races instead of coming over for 1 or 2, it certainly makes the trip a wee bit more lucrative. If you can take some money home, even if you're running a bit of place money here and there, you earn your way and pay your way for the owners, and have a bit of fun in the process.
Do you enjoy the travel? Because your first trip over here was through COVID. Like, you come over and you're then pretty much stuck here. Do you enjoy the travel? Do you enjoy coming to Australia but then also going back home?
Yeah, I enjoyed the trip a lot more than I did the quarantine when I got home. That was a nightmare, but the trip was unreal. I wouldn't take it back. I mean, the quarantine was a real downer on it. It was pretty tough to cop sitting in a room for 2 weeks doing nothing, but it was a great trip. I hadn't won a Group 1 when I come over on that trip, and we ended up nabbing 3, so and the horse made a stack of money in the trip, so owners were rapt. We were over the moon with the results that we got, and come back here trying to do it again.
Love the trotters for the Williamsons. There'll be a lot of people watching this. Obviously, Mum and Dad have it. They've got breed. They breed them, break them, train them, race them, sell them,
yep.
and the likes. What is it about the trotter that makes it so special for the Williamsons?
Well, I think, when Dad was worked at the tannery for about 20 years or longer, and, when he slowly started to potter around with 1 or 2 horses, the first horse he got to train for owners was a horse called Role Model, and he was actually pacing bred, and he won about 7 pacing, and then Dad switched him to trotting, and he won the New Zealand Trotting Champs and maybe the New Zealand Free For All, and he sat outside Call Me Now, a great trotter of Paul Nairn's at the time, and beat him fair and square, and he was a super horse, and that sort of got Dad a bit of a affinity with the trotters, and it just so happened that seemed to be everyone that sent him a horse at that time was a trotter, and they just kept going through to open grade and performing really well and winning really nice races, and it's not that he's ever disliked training paces, but it's just that every horse comes in the gates a trotter, so, and he loves the trotters, but like he's probably only trained, I don't know, maybe 15 pacing winners in his life, and he's probably had about 700 trotting, so people just love to send him trotters, and he breeds them himself, and loves going down his bottom paddocks looking at his foals and things like most people that are passionate about racing and breeding do, and dreaming about the next champion. And he's bred a lot of nice horses, and a lot of nice horses that he sold to Australia that have come here and done a great job, and we love seeing his breed winning over here, and it gives us a thrill just knowing that we played a part in it.
It's a pretty simple formula, isn't it, to get people involved in the industry, and how do we get people to fall in love with it? Just get them a nice trotter, and that's basically all they need, because anyone that's had a nice trotter, they're just in it for life then, aren't they?
That's right. I think they just got to get them in front of the atmosphere and get them involved and get them hands-on, and talking, with trainers and different other owners when they get to the races and get an opportunity to talk with someone that's had a good experience, then it just snowballs. And when they get to see likes of new syndicate members, they come to owners, trainers' properties for the first time with other owners and big syndicates, and when they see what's going on behind the scenes and the care that people give to their horses and trainers, I think it certainly leaves them with a different opinion on racing. We get such a negative coverage in the press 90% of the time, and it's just, you'd swear that they're trying to kill the sport, people that are putting out bad news all the time, instead of all these so many great stories that we've got in behind the scenes of the game, and people that work hard and finally get results. We need to get those stories out there a lot more than we do, I think.
I 100% agree, and that's half the reason I do what I do, because there are so many good stories. You walk past me tonight, said good day, that's it, and I'm like, well, we're going to have a chat, because there are great stories. Majestic Man may not win another race while you're over here. I hope for your sake and for Dad's probably saying the same thing. Hey, I hope you win the Grand Prix. I hope you win. Is it the Hammerhead? What's the race in?
The Hammerhead. It's called now. Yeah. It was called the Aquagate when he won it a couple of years ago, but it's the Hammerhead this year, and they've upped the stake to 100,000. So we'll be all going well. We'll be excited to be there.
I'm going to be there. I'm actually working for Club Menangle that night, so I'll be there. So hopefully I am interviewing you after that. You better make sure Dad's aware there's some nice trot races happening in Queensland through the winter months, because it might be a good place to be for a young bloke like yourself. To, instead of being in New Zealand in the middle of winter, you could be up on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, well, I might be on the other side of the track if I'm heading over to that carnival, and might be having a few beers instead. It's probably a wee bit far away for us to be sending horses, but yeah, we'll think about it.
All right, mate. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. Well done for everything that you're doing. You're always upbeat. You're always positive. You're aggressive. People are going to have to get used to it because you're not going anywhere soon. So well done, mate, and thanks for joining me.
Cheers, Paul. Cheers, mate.